Hello and welcome to another episode of Kuma's Kitchen and another Japanese dish. This is Japanese Ratatouille. And I know it's Ratatouille or something like that. I can never pronounce it properly. But in Japan, we call it Ratatouille. And this has got, it's got some zucchini, eggplant, tomatoes, onions, bell peppers, and then, it's finished off with a bit of miso. Very delicious. So, make sure you get some of this in you. This is good. Let's go to the kitchen and make it right now. To make our Japanese ratatouille, well, it's same as, in a way it's the same as other ratatouille. You know, the vegetables are all the same. And some other differences over here. So let's go over those. Let's go over the front here. What I've got is I've got a 2 tablespoons of honey, a 1/4 cup of miso. So that's you're gonna have to get that from like the Asian section of supermarket or something. Miso I know is very popular everywhere now, so you should be able to get some good miso somewhere. And then you want to mix that in there. Then over here, this is a 1/4 cup of sake. Now I'm using Hakutsuru, white crane. This is from Kobe, and if you come over here and do a tour with me, and you want to do a Kobe tour, I will take you to the Hakutsuru Sake Brewery Museum, which is really interesting. It's a lot of fun, and then at the end of it, you get to taste test a bunch of different sakes. I, as a driver, never do. They give me a little sticker that says, he's the driver, don't give him a drink. So this is really nice because the water is very good. The rice they get from up in the hills is very good. So to make a nice sake, yeah, it's just about a sacrilege to use it for cooking, but let's use it anyways. So that's a 1/4 cup of sake, a 1/4 cup of chicken broth or chicken stock, a 1/4 cup of olive oil. Over here, I've got 2 yellow bell peppers that have been coarsely chopped. Over here, 2 onions, again, coarsely chopped. We want a little bit of a coarse chopping to it. This here is 2 zucchini, but these are small zucchini. So you look at about that size, okay? About that size of a zucchini, and I've chopped them up. Everything is roughly close to 3/4 of an inch, or about 20 millimeters. It makes it a nice size. Same across the back. Across the back here, I've got 2 Japanese or Asian eggplants. Just smaller eggplants. They're also about this size. So not too big. 2 of them, and again, also I've chopped them about the same size. Everything's about that same size, roughly around 3/4 of an inch or 20 millimeters. And then over here, 3 tomatoes, also chopped up, again, about that same size. So what I've done, basically, I cut them into a bunch of wedges, and I cut the wedges in half, and that gives us just the perfect bits. So, first thing we want to do, get the olive oil into our big pot over here. So let's get that olive oil going in there. And I'm going to bring that up on medium to medium high. I want a bit of strength there. I want to brown up the onions, just not really brown them much, but just a little something to them, you know? Also, we're going to be throwing in a lot of the other vegetables after, so I want to keep that heat up. All right, I can see the olive oil starting to move across the surface. So it's heating up, so in goes the onions. And just going to stir them around a bit, and cook those for about 5 to 6 minutes. Now, you might have noticed something is that, you know, I usually use a little bit of salt or something in here too, in a lot of my cooking, but there's no salt this time because we're going to get the salt from the miso. All right, see you back here in about 5 to 6 minutes. All right, so that's been cooking for, about just a little 5 minutes. Soften up the onions a bit. Got a little bit of browning happening on some of them. So now what I want to do is I want to add in the eggplant, the zucchini, the yellow bell pepper, and the tomato. Okay, just get them all in there. And then just gotta stir them around. Ooh, listen to that. Okay, now I'm gonna cook this for another 10 minutes. And I'm just gonna stir it occasionally. Just gonna kind of soften everything up. And that's gonna start making a nice ratatouille. Ratatouille? Ratatouille? Well, in Japanese we say ratatouille. I'm gonna stick with that. I know I'm wrong in the rest of the world, but I'm right here. Okay, so see you back here in about 10 minutes. All right, just got a little bit more to go. We're just about there. Just got a couple more minutes left on the clock, but everything's nice, softening up nicely. That's looking good. So while that's finishing off, I'm gonna put together the miso sauce. So what I want, first of all, let's see. Let's put the miso in there first. We'll use this guy here. In goes the miso. Get all that goodness in there. All right. Whoa, trying to break things. All right, then I'm going to take the sake. Just going to pour about half in there first and just kind of start to dissolve that miso into the sake a bit. Actually, I had this question from one of my clients recently, and they said, is it sake or sake? It is sake. So the E, basically any of the vowels you see when you see Japanese words written out in what we call Romaji or Roman letters, pronounce them like you would German vowels. E. So sake. That's the one, even I made that mistake when I first got here. I was pretty good at pronouncing most of the Japanese words because I speak German, but that was the one I'd heard said sake all the time, so I called it that too. But I was straightened that out by one of the Japanese carpenters. He said, you say everything right, but not that. So, sake. So, all right, so we've got sake in there. That's dissolving things up a bit. I'm going to add that honey in now. If you remember from when we did the eggplants a couple of weeks ago, I think now, and so having the honey and the sake makes up for the fact that it's hard to get mirin in other countries, so what we use here in Japan. But when you do honey and sake together, we can get about the same. So there we go, that's coming together nicely. And now, once I got everything nicely dissolved, I'm going to add in the chicken stock, make this soupier. Now this is about ready, I think. Yeah, looking good. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, make sure this is all nicely mixed, and then I'm going to add it into here. Get all that goodness in there. Okay, give that a good stir around in there. Oh, that is going to be good. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the lid on and I'm going to simmer this for about 10 minutes. And that will be ready. All right, that's been simmering away for about 10 minutes. Get that lid off. Got a nice, soupy, just about a perfect, yeah. That's about perfect, that ratatouille. You can see, at this point, you'll see that still, it's a bit soupy. So there's two things you can do. One, it's not even that much soup in there. You can serve it over rice. Two, if you don't want to do that, if you don't eat just like it is, and you want to thicken it up a little bit, now we get the lid off, let it simmer away for about another 5 minutes. Just kind of keep an eye on it until it thickens up a bit. But me, I'm going to take that right like that because that's great on rice. All right. There you go. We've got some beautiful ratatouille. Japanese ratatouille. All right, if you like this recipe, well, stick around and check out the others, especially with a couple of other Japanese recipes here. You'll notice that there's a playlist for Japanese recipes, so check that out. Go through that. Make sure that you've subscribed and you've clicked that notification bell so you see new ones when they come out. And then go make this and make cooking fun again. with Kuma's Kitchen.